Okay, welcome to Heal the Hate. And today we are going to see where we go with this. And I have an idea and want to see if anybody else is interested in that same idea or if anybody else has any other hate you're seeing. But, and I'll go last. So where are you having any big feelings or hate or anything that you would like for us to bring up to talk about to heal any hate? Who wants to go first? Dad?
Well, I don't really feel any hate right now. I love everybody.
Do you see any hate around you? Are you experiencing, witnessing, noticing, hearing about?
Let me think here just a minute. I don't know of anything right this minute that is of the variety of hate.
Okay. All right.
I don't think so.
Well, then it's really good you're here because you can just bring the light and bring the love and help all the
I
rest of
can
it.
do that. I can bring that today.
Okay. All right. We could use that. We could use a little bit of that. How about
Yeah.
you, Erica? Are you noticing any hate that's needing to be healed?
Okay. Do I notice any hate that needs to be healed? Well, I would say more understanding needs to happen. Understanding, just like listening and education and understanding. Credible. What is credible and what is incredulous? That's what I got. You too, Linda. Linda with the dog, with the Kobe. Is that the Kobe? It's Kobe.
It's Colby Bear. It's Colby Bear. He says I want to be on Heal the Hate too.
Oh, heal the hate. Let's heal it. Let's do it. Let's heal this hate.
So Erica, are you saying the understanding, is it primarily around vaccinations? Around politics, around where are you seeing it?
Right. There's a lot of different ideas about things. And then just how do we like put down our guns about stuff and really listen, and how do we understand like heal the hate, like what does that really mean? So those are my questions today, and increasing the listening.
Okay, I love it. Hey, Dr. Z, welcome. All right, Ariel, how about you? Or Holly, either one of you who wants to play, unmute. Go for it, Ariel.
I will. I don't feel any hate in my heart, Dr. Beth. I am experiencing some super huge feelings though, because another one of my dogs is ill, and things are not looking good. And I'm trying to be as compassionate as I can. And when I meditate on the subject, it just tells me, like on my radar, the words that I'm compassion and release keep coming up, and I keep trying to just make sure that I'm doing my best for my dog. I went to the vet today, and they said that I am in fact doing the best for my dog, but I still feel terrible
and hopeless and helpless.
And I was correct. They're the only thing they can offer at this point is to keep her on the high dosages of pain medications and anti-inflammatories and things. As long as she's wanting to stick around, I guess. Or I can intervene with maybe do a neurological consult, but to be really honest, I'm not sure that is even humane to put her through all of that after seeing what my other dog went through with spinal surgery just earlier this year, and losing our cat, the whole thing. not a good time for the Asher animals. And I'm sorry for taking up time with my sad story, but my sad story is my sad story.
You're not
You
taking
know,
up time.
since I met you, Dr. Beth, when I met you, I had my normal pack of dogs, and I went through 3 dogs, and now my cat, and now I'm losing my one of my replacement dogs. And so I just guess that the universe is just showing me trust and compassion and faith. I have to, you know, um, I have to clean up these emotions out of my space and just be as compassionate as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so glad you're here,
And
Erin.
and the only anger that I've witnessed, I don't know if I said this on the Heal the Hate call. I got so freaking angry I lost my mind and I yelled at the vet, and then they sent me a registered letter firing me from that vet because I yelled at them. And they said that I swore at them, but I did not swear at them. And they also said that I missed an appointment because I had a flat tire, and that's not true either. I had a dead battery. So I feel like they lied, and I know that's so lame, and who cares anyway. But yeah, so the only anger is an angry outburst from me a couple weeks ago and having to get fired from the vet. But I went to this new vet, and now, I mean, I know what the problem is. So at least I feel like I know what the problem is and I have support. But my dog is really doped up, and it's really heartbreaking to see and to be with. Sorry to be a baby.
Oh, sweetie, don't be sorry.
I had to speak on it. My stuff is all fancy, and my trophies are all showing because I had to be a badass on a speaking summit today, and I didn't really feel like it.
Oh, oh, yes.
But I just had to do that.
Yeah.
So when Eric, so everything looks all shiny around here, but it's a little bit sad sack around here.
Yeah. 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 Oh, just sending you so much love. So much love.
I'm going through the same thing. Damn,
You're-
dog.
You're losing
I
your
spent the night on the floor.
I'm so
the dog.
sorry.
Mm,
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go get IV fluid to keep her alive till Sunday, till D'Artagnan can get home.
I gotcha.
These dogs.
Well, I think that the hate
so
on the
relaxed.
I'm gonna get all woo woo, but I think that the hate on the planet affects the dogs and the nature, the animals before it even affects us. So I imagine that all of the stuff that's going on is really impacting Mother Nature on so many levels, and just can't hold their bodies just can't hold all this energy anymore. Anyway,
yeah. Yeah.
thank you,
I
Bettina.
don't. Oh, I'm sorry you're suffering. They're. I don't know, man. I'll tell you, I surround myself with animals, not people. I've noticed.
Yes, and sometimes that puts you in quite a predicament too.
It does. I mean, I have like 6 cats and 2 dogs because they're so peaceful to be around. They don't judge you. You always get good vibes from animals. I don't have good, close girlfriends. I just never have had. It's all Barry, he always says every day, he's like, we have so many animals. It's like an animal shelter here. And it's like, because of the crap I got to put up with every day at work, I got to come home to some sort of sanctuary. I can't, the everyday stuff that goes on here, it's the emotional needs, which I don't mind providing, my support to everybody who walks through the door, but it is a little bit at times, a lot of giving, as you do, of yourself pouring into that person who is needing it, which is fine, but to restore it in ourselves, that's the trick, is getting back to you know, us. And I know this probably has nothing to do with Heal the Hate, but
I think it has
being around the
everything.
animals is so much calmer.
I think it has everything to do with healing the hate. It's why we have emotional support dogs. And, you know, this is about.
Who's behind you? Who's behind you, Dr.
This
Beth?
is Linda.
Linda,
Linda, so
hi.
what's your take on Heal the Hate? Where are you seeing hate anywhere?
I just got back from Southern Oregon. And there was a lot.
Oh, how was that? I just came back from Fresno.
What was bad in terms of air quality? So I came back early. We had air quality over 500 the first day we were there, and it was just not good. But in Southern Oregon, there were tons and tons of anti-Biden, anti-gay, anti-everything, like nothing pro. I mean, it was all like anger and hate and, you know, some scary places to drive through. So there was a lot of that in Southern Oregon, a little bit in Northern California, but I think it's good to get out of our Bay Area bubble every once in a while and just kind of see what's happening in other places, even if it's uncomfortable, because I don't see that stuff where I live much at all.
Oh, yeah. It's so uncomfortable. It's like I'm white, but I'm Jewish. And I'm telling you, this is like the Nazi thing going on.
Yeah,
It's so frightening. No mask. A sign said no mask up there in Mariposa. It's just mind-boggling, Dr. Beth. It's so mind-boggling.
Well, and I think it's going to get even wilder after listening to Biden last night.
Oh, I can't wait to put a sign on my door. As of September 30th, if you aren't vaccinated, you don't come in my office. Well, it won't be that. Well, maybe it will. I don't know how I'm going to write it. We are all of us are vaccinated by September 30th to protect myself and my staff. If you aren't vaccinated, you have to find another doctor. That's how I'm doing it. Any questions? Call the CDC. Don't call me, and I'm done. Because, you know, I have anything but indignation. Go ahead. You can do the love thing. I'll do the indignation. Leave the indignation to me, Dr. Beth. You're good at the other
All right,
stuff.
I'm gonna be all indignant about you being indignant. How about that for
Go ahead.
hypocrisy?
I like
I
it.
could use a good indignant rant. I don't know. I don't know. It might be
Sometimes you have to
therapeutic. Yeah.
Absolutely. Sometimes you have to feel your feelings, name them the freak out, so we don't act out on people's head. So
Like
what
I
were
did
you-
at the bank. I'll tell you what the trick is. You buy everybody buntinis and everybody likes you again. They don't fire you that way. I ran around giving out buntinis to people. Here, I'm so sorry. Here, I'm so sorry. Thank you. So sorry.
I'm so sorry I lost it. I'm so sorry I lost
Sorry, I lost it on you, Youssef, bank teller dude. I became this lady that I was talking to in the pharmacy. I was like trying to calm her down, and I became her. That was the next day. It was so hilarious. I told Barry, I became that lady.
it.
The lady.
Oh my God. Well, you know, I think this is really what this is about. And go ahead, Erica, what were you going to say? And then I want to let Holly jump in.
Let her jump in first and then I'll go after, okay?
Okay, go for it, Holly.
Hey guys, Dr. Beth and all.
Hello,
I'm not
Beth.
feeling any hate because I don't go anywhere and I watch TV, so I don't even know what's going on. So in a bubble.
Talk about bubbles. You're not even in the Bay Area bubble. You're in the Atlanta bubble.
I'm in the weird redneck backwood bubble, but my house is the bubble. So yeah.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to protect yourself. Go ahead, Erica.
True.
What
Good
were
to
you
do.
going to say?
Okay, so it's kind of like a little bit like what Ariel is talking about, but I hope you don't laugh too much, but you can laugh. It's kind of funny too. But so I really care about my tower gardens, right? And one of them is dying, but I'm sad about it that it's dying. But at the same time, I just picked 20 tomatoes off of it, and there's like 20 more tomatoes coming on it. And I unplugged it, but I'm sad about it having to have it be dead, because what's happening is it's throwing water out of the tub. And so I just plugged it back in and I gave it a little more water, but it's like it still wants to live even though it's dying because it's not set up right. Like it's got, the roots have gotten so big and so expanded that it just keeps throwing water out of it. So it's no longer the closed loop system it's supposed to be. But at the same time, it's producing, and it's like this interesting metaphor. Like you see all this stuff all over it. I picked off as much as I could just now, but there's like another 20 tomatoes, there's celery, there's parsley. So anyway, the metaphor that I'm experiencing is like, I'm really sad this thing is dying, and this one's not dying. This is going to be a pepper, and this is still like parsley, or I always forget what it is, but this one, it's dying, but it wants to live, but it can't live in harmony. And so anyway, I have mixed feelings about this because I don't want to kill it because it's yummy food, and also it's not sustainable. So if I'm going to like hop on a plane tonight to go see my people for September 11th tomorrow, I probably should just shut this baby down. And so anyway, it's like I have emotion about this that I unplugged it last night. And then this morning, I just keep seeing more food that wants to be harvested. It's like this very interesting emotional thing. Like I've been taking care of this thing this time, and my friend, when I was away, they took care of this thing when I was gone. So it's like the great experiment that, anyway, it's not happy if you do stuff to transplant it. And the tomatoes are very funny how they don't like to be moved around a bunch. So, and then there's this secret that I made to hop on a plane and go see all my people, because I was there in New York on September 11th. So my sister's having this reunion of my people, and nobody knows, but I may still hop on like a red eye and get there early in the morning tomorrow, and then get to be with everybody for like commemorating this thing. So yeah, it's very emotional. Like, what does it mean this time, this anniversary? And where was I? Where were we all? 20 years ago, I was in New York giving a massage when the two towers melted to the ground. And I could tell you a longer story about that, but it was an amazing time to be in New York City. And the camaraderie of the people there, and the way that people looked at each other with kindness in that time was just, I'm a New Yorker. I love New York. I love what happened with the people there. So it was a lot of love in the air, and for months after, just like the kindness that was happening after that time. It was amazing.
I so get it. There's huge feelings. There's just huge feelings all around. Alice, my housemate, just got home, and her mom is in stage 4 cancer and just had a whole bunch of stuff stolen from her. And it is definitely an interesting time with all the quick pivots that everything is happening, and all the feelings that everybody is happening. And I actually am trying to get Dr. Hurd on the phone. She's experiencing the other side, Ariel, of having all of her clients getting mad at her people, and they're going through their own COVID, and they're going through their own just complete breakdowns. And and then Dr. Z, on both sides of the coin, the caregiver, the healer, and how we can have compassion for ourselves first. like before we have anything to give to anybody else, we may need to do a freaking rant. We may need to lose our shit. We may need to feel it and feel it out and feel it out and have people that can love us and hold us and bring us good vegetables. And it's really got vegetables in both corners of the world. And the thing I was going to say of the Heal the Hate, that's an interesting one that I'm kind of embarrassed to say, is I did this big, huge stretch yesterday doing some video recording from about 10 in the morning till 4 yesterday afternoon. And I did some of the craziest things and just swinging out there, DrBeth.com, just like being so bodacious and outrageous and bold and visible. And I have a hangover today. Like, I mean, I have a hangover. It's like reeling myself back in and wanting to just hide under the covers. And so, I think this Heal the Hate with tears in my eyes, it really has to come with healing anything in us. Anything that is in us that doesn't accept our hurt, doesn't accept our pain, doesn't accept our embarrassment, doesn't accept our rage, doesn't accept our anything about us. And what I do when I'm in a big feeling moment is I usually recoil and bring it in so I don't act out on anybody's head. Because I have a right to feel it, and other people have a right not to have my rage or my whatever's going on. So I love that we have this safe place for all of us to be exactly where we are with our big feelings, no apologies, nothing, no way to do this wrong, no way to grieve wrong. And, we're going through a shit show. Like, we're going through a shit show. This is crazy. All the stuff that's going on. And weird enough, the one I'm dealing with is how good I can stand it. Like, how can I handle everybody around me hurting and in pain? And I'm like, feeling so on top of the world right now. And so, like Dad said, I'm just coming to the call and I just have love. And Holly said, I'm just coming to the call and I have love. I think as long as one or two of us stay above the water line and can, pull out the others, I think that can be helpful. So Dad, what's your take on just kind of what you're hearing from the loss and the grief and the big feelings? And
well, it seems to me that we're moving off of an isolated heal the hate, and we're talking more about heal the pain. And pain can come in all kinds of packages. And I'm thinking about these, the dog and the vegetables and so on. Reminds me, today I had lunch with a friend, and he was saying to me that I needed to get another dog. And I went through just grief with the loss of my last dog. And I was trying to think, why don't I want it? Is it because I have to take them out? Is it because I have to feed them? I have to take them to the vet that may decide to fire me? That's the worst thing I've ever heard, to be fired from a vet. My gracious. And so, all of these things that could happen. And it suddenly dawned on me, this is probably why I don't get another dog, because the attachment value is so great. It is so great that the pain of losing that dog, my time in life seems to supersede the joy of raising one and having the fun with them. But I do think that we're all talking about some pain. And I just one point here, I think it's very interesting. Erica mentioned it. We have three caregivers here with my wife, and two of them are not vaccinated. And what I'd like to do is to say, that's it. But they are so valuable, so necessary, so difficult to replace that it's out of the question. So this morning I spent probably 30, 40 minutes talking with one of them, not talking, but listening and just asking questions about why do you feel this, and talk about that, and how would you handle this, and on and on and on. I learned a lot. Don't necessarily agree, but I learned perspective. And I think that's the only thing I've got left in terms of the difference of opinion here. I don't think I'm going to talk anybody into anything, but I believe I could learn something. Maybe that is a positive thing to demonstrate or exhibit to the world. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Forget the question, but I had some kind of an answer.
But heal the pain, I think under hate is pain. And I think if we heal the pain, we will heal the hate, because it's when we're in pain that we lash out on people. It's when we're afraid that we get angry. It's when we're hurting that we scream in complete and total desperation. And if we could see each other screaming as pain, instead of shaming and blaming them for being in pain or firing them for being in pain, I think that would go a long way to heal the hate. Go, Ariel.
Dr. Beth, I waited 5 weeks for that appointment and my battery died. And yeah, I was pretty pissed off. But actually I wasn't pissed off until I said, do you have anything later today? And they said no. And do you have anything next week? They said no. And do you have anything next September? In September, do you have anything then? And they said no. And I said, well, that's stupid. And I didn't know that stupid was a swear word. But I do know that I'm a force.
It was in my house.
I do know that I'm a force to be reckoned with, and that with my hair on fire, no matter what I say, if we say purple bunnies, it could still be threatening with the energy of a mama bear like that. You know what I mean? Because I was trying to advocate for my animal. But they sent a registered letter, and my other friend said, "Oh man, they were really scared of you." Because they didn't call me. They sent a registered letter the day before the appointment that we finally agreed upon. Anyway, I'm sorry. It's more of my story.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not more of your story. It's more of your pain.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be yelled at by anybody, and I definitely don't. But I think under the circumstances, they were being pretty unreasonable, and stupid was the nicest word that I could have used for them at that point.
Yeah, I get it. I so get it. Yeah, so get it. And I think, when it comes to this, the health of our pups and the health of the stuff we're attached to, our homes, our gardens, our friends, our families,
our parents. Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to the things that we're attached with, we lose our shit. We lose it. And we feel helpless and we feel hopeless and we don't know what to do. And there's a lot of stuff right now that's coming at us that is very, very scary, and is completely out of our control. Like, we can't control the doctors choosing to work or not work. We can't control the nurses quitting. We can't control vaccinations. We can't control vet appointments. We can't control pretty much anything. So, I think it really comes back to really giving ourselves compassion when we lose it. No shame, no blame. Go ahead, Erica.
Okay, so I'm thinking about September 11th, right? That the day, it was a Tuesday, and the Wednesday after September 11th, I usually would work at the New York Times giving chair massage. And it was like I had this shock response where, so the lady from New York Times called me to say, we're not having you come tomorrow because it's a national emergency. We're not going to be open tomorrow. The New York Times building in Manhattan. So I like lost it. I was like, I need this work. And I said that to her, the lady, and it was like this crazy moment, like, what? Like, and so I called her back and I apologized. But this idea of like, if we have like a moment, you can always like have a do-over. And so I called her back and I apologized. I was like, I think I'm in shock. And she was like, yeah, I think you are too. And like, it's a national emergency. Like, we've never been through this before, And yeah, it was a really interesting time in that gestalt. Have any of you seen the movie Run Lola Run?
Mm.
It's a really good movie. It's a German film. And there's this like there's these 3 vignettes in the movie. And then in between the 3 vignettes, there's like this whole like puja circle kind of thing where people make eye contact with each other and they're stopping. And it's a really cool movie, and the soundtrack is awesome. It's called Run Lola Run. And I think you'll all enjoy it.
And that ties.
That ties in because of the way people looked at each other after September 11th in New York City. It was like the eye contact was breathtaking, and the compassion and the outpouring of, have you seen this person? Do you know, have you seen this? Have you found this person? Where is this person? And the art that was coming up all over the city, like the displays of loss and art was just so amazing. So it was an amazing experience to be there.
Yeah.
I heard a lady from New York that spoke on the same subject today on CNN. And she was talking about how crazy it is that we were so close as human beings at that time. And how somebody said camaraderie, or the esprit de corps, or the love was just there, and one mind, and patriotic, and on the list goes. And yet how fragmented we are today. And she was talking about how 20 years can make a difference. And but she said it was a unique experience. She said, in all the years I've lived in New York, I've never seen anything to compare with it. And it is quite amazing.
And I think, you get to a place where, I think the screaming is when we're still efforting and we're still trying. And I think the other side of that is shock, surrender, and, all we have is love. And I think, I wonder how low we're going to have to go as a species until we get to that, the two towers coming down, that will get us back on the same page. Because I think we will come together at some point, when someone in your own family is not vaccinated and you're hurting so bad. And, I think it is, I don't know.
It's like like how they talk about people who are going through addiction and then getting sober. Some people go through like a rock bottom experience. And I wonder if this world is going through its own kind of rock bottom experience with like climate change responses. And, you know, like how much more death needs to happen? Like what's going on in Afghanistan? How much more atrocities need to happen before there can be coming to sanity? You know, like are the Taliban doing it right or better now? Or ISIS, you know, these groups. I was listening to Michael Moore. He's doing a showing of his film tonight from 2001. He's having a 20-year anniversary of his film, showing it tonight through his website. And you know, like he's funny too. He has this whole blip about, he was saying, I think we as a culture need to send TVs to Afghanistan because they've banned TVs. I love TVs. And he had this whole little video clip about how he's sending TVs to Afghanistan. This was in 2000 or 2001. And it's just showing how crazy we can be. Like we, the human race can be. Like they said they want us to cut out TVs. So he goes to the Taliban location in Queens, New York. And the guy there with the long beard, he's like, you're giving us these TVs and you want us to send this to Afghanistan. TVs, because they banned TVs. So anyway, there is humor, but there's also like the seriousness of how far do we have to go to be back into love and back into, you know, one world, one planet, one team, one mission. How do we do it? How do we do it? So I sorry, I talk so much, but that's what I'm thinking about.
Well,
I wonder if it takes destruction of some sort to bring people back. I'm just thinking about the forest fires and the floods and the tornadoes and so on, and how people respond as a community in those instances. We had a town or community that was just wiped off the map, Waverly, Tennessee, recently. And there's been an outpouring of love and care and concern. And as a matter of fact, the I guess it was the mayor spoke on television the other day, and he was being interviewed, and somebody said, do you need some more help, or do you need this or that? And he said, no, really, as a matter of fact, we got enough for right now, so don't send anything else. They didn't know where to put all this stuff. They were getting clothes and diapers and food and everything. They didn't have a place to put it. And you know, that's the epitome of something else. So it just makes you almost feel like, do we need another war to bring us together? There are people who think that wars are more solidifying than anything, and that's a time when people come together better than any other time. I don't know, but sure seems like a paradox, doesn't it?
well, my take is, my opinion is, it's a reflection of what's going on in each and every one of us. So when I'm depleted and when I'm in pain, I have more hate. When I'm filled up and I have more love and I have more compassion, I'm putting out love. And people can scream at me, people can do crazy, stupid stuff to me, and I don't retaliate. But when I'm depleted and I'm on my last nerve and I'm emotionally spent, that's when I lose my stuff. So I think the real, you know, what each and every one of us can do during this Heal the Hate experience is, what can I do for me to make sure I'm always filled up so I'm not spewing more hate? And where can I reach in my community and in my, you know, who I can touch to lift somebody up that's in pain? And how can I be compassionate when people I love are in pain and they're mean and people I love, and they're in pain, and they do stupid stuff like forget things, or whatever we do when we're in pain. So I think that's the thing I see that I can personally do is first fill me up, and second, look around and see if there's anybody I can touch, which is why I'm doing this Heal the Hate. It's a tiny little give back. It's a tiny little thing. And I would say the third thing is when I'm in pain, that I have a good way to let people know I'm in pain and I take accountability for it. Like Erica did when she said, I think I'm in shock. Because people can understand shock and they instantly go to compassion. People can understand despair and hurt and pain. My husband has COVID. My mom just died. I just lost my best friend. People instantly go from their judgmental, self-righteous prick selves to their heart. When we get vulnerable, they get vulnerable. When we find love, they find love. What's your take?
That's my take. I think a lot of the same things you do is about our capacity. And I think in the last year and a half, everybody's capacity has been greatly depleted. And so it's easier to go to the anger and the hate because there's just not that reservoir of self-confidence, self-love, and just that self-awareness. And so I think that for a lot of people, they've just kind of lost their ability to be present in ways that they used to be. And a lot of people are not talking about it until you actually bring it up directly. People are not volunteering that that's what's going on for them.
And I don't even know if they're present to that's what going on. I think a lot of people are in shock.
Yeah.
A lot of people are in absolute terror, and they're acting out unconsciously, emotionally, out of, fear and pain. I think we just went around assuming anybody that's acting like a jerk is in pain. It would really help. That's kind of how I do life. If somebody yells at me, I go, oh, they are hurting bad. What about you? What about you, Holly? What do you do other than turn the TV off and hide in your bubble?
Hide in my bubble. Yeah. Meditate, go within, find that inner guidance inside. I talk to friends, that are outside my bubble, that are in their own little bubbles too, but and that helps. Yeah, I don't have great advice though, because it's all kind of avoiding the big bang that will happen, right? Whatever that might be. So yeah.
Well, I think you experienced a big bang last week with your husband having COVID and going through the hell you went through for 2 weeks. How did you keep it together? You seem to really keep your wits about you. Did you ever lose it?
I played piano, and actually he was kind of delirious and feverish, and so I turned the phone on. I played piano for both of us, and that was the only thing that I knew what to do. Like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't be with him because he was in quarantine, and just to keep him focused, I played piano and keep me focused. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think music is a powerful, powerful tool that raises the vibration, brings us out of fear. I think that is.
And it felt better. I mean, it not only was it helpful, he felt close, but I felt better too, and I didn't feel as freaked out. Right? Yeah.
You must have been playing a lot.
I was. Yeah.
I mean,
and then
I just can't even imagine having to go through that. And while I was talking to you through a lot of that, it was really you being the doctor of him. There was no one overseeing you. There was no one to help you through
No,
that.
they're too impacted here. You know, he went to the hospital a couple times and couldn't get admitted or anything. They just like pump him full of whatever fluids and drugs and send him back out because he's not bad enough to be in there, but yet he's, you know, if he gets, is he worse? Is he better? You know, like there's nobody to check in with. So
Wow, Holly, I'm so glad you got through that. I'm just so glad that he's okay and he survived. And
yeah, no, he's sitting right here. He's
yeah. Well,
Let's see, let the camera show it. Let's see if he looks well.
Hey, do you look well, James? They want to see you that you're in one piece from COVID.
we've been sending you lots of love and holding you high, man.
He looks well. He looks well.
It all helped. I was well enough to get up and clean the gutters today, so I guess that's
Yeah, I held the
Wow.
ladder and get up on the ladder and clean the gutters. So
That's important. That's important. As long as you can clean the gutters, you know you have arrived. That's a good one. That's a good one. Well, so does anyone else have anything that they want to bring to the space today?
Balls, shrimp.
For her.
Here, no, she's.
No, mine's gonna fall.
Anything else anybody wants some support on or wants to say, or
I hope that the people who are usually on this, that they're okay and that they feel welcome to come again. And I think about the people that have we've gotten to know that have come to Heal the Hate. And I wonder if they're just busy, or like, I hope that the last time we all got on here that they are in a good place so that they will come back. Because it's really, I feel like it's important, the pod that has been created. That's number one thing.
part of that is I usually send text reminders, to everybody at the last second. And I didn't have time. I was running in the door. I'd been in Santa Rosa this morning with a doctor's appointment, so I didn't get a chance to do that. But I agree, Erica. Yeah, there's a part of me that's like, do we keep doing this? And what are we doing here? And
I imagine that, with the announcement from last night with Biden, that the people that really have been very not up for getting the vaccine, that they're flipping, right? Is what I imagine. I don't know exactly, but just the
Want to pick another one?
flipping into rage.
if the 7,000 responses that I read when I watched Biden's little announcement last night, they're just like totally angry in a way that is like, oh, I'd feel scared for the backlash of the announcement of that people have to get the vaccine, or it's a lot more of like a squeeze on people's choice, or they're going to need to get their test very often. So I just wonder if we as a group can like brainstorm ways to be just any ideas for how to be with those people other than what we've already said, is like listening, reflecting back what we hear, the top things for communicating, right? But if there's anything else anyone can think of, that would be great to hear.
Well, one of the things I think is critical is to reach out and let them know we care. Like, I remember when, I was for Hillary and Trump won, I remember how horrible that felt. And then when I was for Biden and Trump lost, I know how horrible it felt to those that, the whole country is split. And so how can we create so much more compassion? And I think it is the white person that's responsible for, it is the heterosexual person that's responsible. It is the, whoever's in the privilege is responsible for making the difference to the part and persons that are in the victim position and feel in the one down position. That's my thoughts. Anybody else?
I'm thinking back as a person in the 50s. Those are good years from the standpoint of the normal curve. There were more people in the middle, and you could communicate with somebody who didn't agree with you. And I'm just even thinking, growing up in a religious environment, we would go to big church meetings, and there was somebody there that you knew didn't agree with you, and you didn't agree with them, but we're all singing the same song. You know, we're all kind of together, and who cares? You know, you do this and I do that, but it was not divisive, and you didn't feel as you walked out, don't speak to them or avoid them or whatever. It was a charitable environment, very charitable.
Wasn't
That
life
was-
and death.
No, it really was not. And you know, I remember some controversial presidents that were elected, but I don't remember it being, because I was younger. But my dad was very active in politics, and I don't remember him ever saying, "Boy, this is the end of time," or "Oh my goodness," you know. As a matter of fact, he was in a work where he had to get along with both sides, and he was very good at that. And what's happened is that this normal curve has gone to you know,
Bimodal.
yeah, we're way apart. We're just so far apart, and it's just tough to communicate, to hear from each other. It really takes some skill in talking, listening, caring, making the effort. I mean, it's easier just to, you know, cross your arms and say, "To heck with you, I'm not going to spend the time." So it's not an easy thing, but I think your point about kind of doing it one at a time is the key, because that's all you can do unless you have a platform. If you have a platform, then that's something else. But
But I think even the platform is not working right now. I don't think
No.
you can get any.
No.
I don't think you can get anywhere with a platform right now.
no,
Because no
not
one,
really.
all you have to do is pro-vax, doors closed. Anti-vax, the doors closed. No one's listening.
Yeah, I just talked to Bill. You remind me. I just talked to a college professor this morning. We were having catching up, and she's in California, Cal Poly, and she's retiring after next semester because she said it's so hard to be a professor when you have a platform to not say the wrong thing. Like, she could just say some flip off comment, you know, that she just says, and she'll get in trouble because somebody will be too sensitive or whatever, and she can't get away with anything. So she's like, "I'm leaving. This is enough of this shit," you know. Like,
Yeah.
how can you also like be frank and say what needs to be said when she's not even like extreme. She's not even like, she's just a normal person. She's not like radical at all, and she's worried about being PC. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. Is that my little Precious? Hi, Precious. There's my kitty. Oh, hi, baby. Hi, Precious.
Talking to a cat?
That's my kitty
Where?
right there in Ariel's.
Oh, yeah.
That's my little kitty. Ariel saved my cat from Kobe Bear. Oh, that's so sweet.
I had to work really hard so that she didn't make an appearance on the summit that I was speaking at today.
That's
She's pretty
hilarious.
much taken over.
I guess she's feeling more and more comfortable, huh, Ariel?
What
That's
what is empowered self-care? Notice the book.
you have it. I gave you my copy.
Oh, I've
This
read
is
it.
an amazing book that that I compiled with myself and Dr. Beth and 23 other amazing healers, coaches, and just fabulous people, spiritual teachers.
And you have a copy. I left you a copy there.
I have read it thoroughly.
There's going to be a quiz, Bill.
Especially by
I have
Proverbs chapter.
I have too, Dad. I have
Yeah.
read it thoroughly too. All right. Well, I know.
Over there. Would you do me a favor? Would you rake the corn?
So we can still hear you, Dad. I put you on mute. Erica, you look beautiful. Look all professional. So, one thing I think that might be helpful is if we all reach out, if you know anybody that has been on this call, and just tell them, hey, we missed you today. And I don't know anybody, or very, very, very few people that are not in pain right now, that are not in emotional crisis in one way or another. And so if any one of us ever has a moment where our head's above the waterline, one of the things I'm doing is I'm just trying to bring love and light everywhere I can, and give people permission to feel all their big feelings. And Kobe Bear says, he says, I see. Do you see Precious? Do you see Precious? Well, do you see her?
I see him licking his chops. He's all, oh, snacks.
Oh my goodness. Well, the only thing I was thinking today, we lost Dad. The only thing I was thinking today was just the aspect of healing the hate within ourselves. That was the idea that I had. Because as much as I work on everything, I think even when any one of us stretch into a high stress situation, with COVID or with illness or with a puppy dog dying, or I think that's when we need even more self-love. So what are some of the ideas that you guys have for when you're in your own way, when you're in your own pain, when you're not giving yourself permission to be mad, or you're beating yourself up for losing your shit, or wherever hate may show up? For me, it was showing up not loving, not loving my body the way I normally love my body. And I'm fine until I saw it on video doing all the crazy stuff I was doing on video. And so can I even love that? So what do you guys do to help yourself when you're in self-flagellation, self-hate? What you got, Holly? I can't believe she's sitting there. That's hilarious. Hi,
What do I got?
So what do you ever feel self-hate? Do you ever feel self-doubt? Do you ever feel why'd I do that? Why was I thinking that? Can't believe I did that.
Sure.
And what do you do to get yourself out of that mode?
I go back to what you say, Dr. Beth. If I know better, I could do better, right?
Right.
Try to get into that frame of mind. Actually, I've been doing these new meditations. They're like binaural. I don't know if you're familiar with that term. And it's got like one frequency of audio track in one ear, and the other one is like a slightly different frequency. And then your brain makes a third frequency to like console both of them, so they are matching, which then like harmonizes your brain. And I've been doing I've been doing that, and it's like a very weird but very effective and very ancient way of kind of like soothing yourself. So just thought I'd throw that up.
Well, I'm happy that you're learning more about sound therapy.
Yeah, Ariel, I the lady that showed me about them, I told her all about you. So I don't know if she'll come checking up on you, but I sent her your website, and yeah.
I was going to ask you, Ariel, do you use any of your sound wave therapy when you're
Yes.
in so much pain with your little puppy dog?
Yeah. And Dr. Beth, you asked, in these moments, I was getting kind of, I've been kind of looking at this happening. I've been looking at this unfolding, and I don't feel like there's any really thing that I am supposed to do. And I think that's kind of the lesson, that I'm just supposed to be compassionate and watch, and let things unfold. As for what we can do, like, don't polarize, right? Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Stop doing that.
Not good, not good. Let's don't do that
Not
one.
good. Ungood.
Exactly. Well, anything else? I had a puppy dog barking at Precious there for a minute, so I had to put my
She's assumed her place on the sills.
She says
back to business as usual.
She said that's what.
No, I just for me, the lesson is I think I said it at the top of the hour, but it's just really the words trust, compassion, and release, right? And just allow the emotions to come up. And right now it feels like a big stew, regardless of my my animal stuff. I felt that days before all this started, but it's just been a real big stew in the body of this emotional stuff. So, I'm just grounding, and I do my vibrational bowls, etc., etc. I do everything. I find it helpful to actually put the bowl on my body, on my solar plexus, and to do that, the vibration. If you're using a vibrational bowl, it's a different kind of metal than just any old singing bowl. But the vibration actually is very soothing as well, and works much the way that the binaural beats that she was talking about to reset the body and get it back in sync when stuff is churning in there.
That's actually what I just did too. The life vessel in Santa Rosa that you do for an hour. It's a light healing as well as a sound healing. And you lay on this pad, and you and all the vibrations, and it impacts you on helps to move stuff around. I don't know what it does, but it feels like a massage.
I love Epsom salt baths, and I also float in the isolation tank once a week, or else I would be a complete basket case all the time. So that's the secret of my success. Right now, I'm having extra emotions and things because of the grief that are happening. But usually, I can hold it together as long as I get my weekly float.
Wow, that's good to know. How about you, Erica? What are you doing to survive yourself when you're beating yourself up? Or are you ever hard on yourself?
Oh, yeah. And I do the dishes because I have to, but also it helps me calm down. The dishes are like, they're always here. They're waiting for me to do them. And it's like, I'm
I've never
really good. at them.
I've never seen anybody have as many dishes as you have.
No, well, I don't have a dishwasher. So there's that. The self-care, like, so you do a flotation tank, Ariel? Is that what you're talking about? Flotation?
Yeah,
tank?
I do an isolation tank once a week. And that is very restorative for me.
That's so cool. I've done that here in Rockridge, Berkeley area, Berkeley, Oakland. There's this thing called the what is it called? Reboot Spa. There's one in Rockridge, there's one in San Francisco. Do you guys have a flotation tank out where you are in Georgia or in, oh, well, so in Rockridge, right near the Rockridge BART station, there's this place, and I think it's back open now.
Oh, I did do that one time. I did do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for your back was out. Oh yeah. I remember your back was out. I've been swimming. I'm on a swim team and I am in love with this experience that's been happening with a big self-care piece. Another thing is playing ultimate frisbee with my mostly women and then some men. And I'm healing things about like that. When I was growing up, I did not really play team sports. Like I would always be the last person to be picked for a team because I just didn't think I could do it or had a whole conversation about that. So I've been healing that and I've been getting stronger, and people notice like, wow, you just threw that across the field, Erica. And I'm like, yeah, I'm surprising myself. And that
That's cool.
healing, yeah, it's really interesting, the healing this self-concept that I can place team sports, and that, I watched myself get faster in spite of myself. Like I watched myself go through the 4 100s that I swam at the end of last month. And each time I got faster. And the coach, who loves to yell at me, by the way, she's like, Erica, you got faster each time. And it was such a surprise to be faster.
And to be yelled at for being good. And Erica, what about when you have stuff like at BNI and you have those moments? What do you do to heal yourself in those moments?
Well, I talk to my comrades on the executive team, and I watch a lot of comedy. And yeah, it's really, the swimming has been a very calming thing in my life with all the upset about stuff. So it's emotional, not only mental. It's emotional and mental, not only physical. And
so physical movement is huge. So physical movement is huge for you in your getting through emotion, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. And I just want you all to know that in real life, if I have right now, I just realized that, you see this, it looks like I have makeup on right now because I have the Zoom filter of lipstick on. So watch this. Look at this.
Oh, wow.
And then it's like, that's lipstick that is not really on my face, right? And that's it very dark. And now here, I'm going to make it very light. And then you can also do fun stuff with your eyebrows. Look at that. And you can do stuff.
So I take it you play with Zoom filters to also make yourself feel better.
Yeah. Sometimes I do this with clients who are like, they don't know what to do about it. Yeah,
Look at Ariel. Look at Ariel.
I see. Yeah. So there's a lot of fun things to play with here. And I just want you all to know, you could put on your lipstick. It could be green. It could be.
Holly, are you seeing this craziness these two are doing? Oh my God. Oh my God. All right.
So,
last but not least, what do you do?
Oh, If I'm having the self-hatred thing going on,
At first, if you ever had that.
I haven't for a long time, but when I have, I go through this whole series of whose voice is that? Because it's not my own natural voice. It's probably my dad from my early childhood. And then I have this question that sometimes if I'm really needing it, I have next to my desk, which is, how does God see you? And it's like, oh, I mean, like, who am I to criticize myself if God sees me as perfect? And then I do a lot of physical stuff too, hiking and getting out in nature.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, let's do what you taking away from this call.
Oh, I love what you just said, Linda. And I just have another September 11th memory. Is a few days after September 11th, I went over to where there was people chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo chanting. You know what that is? The Nichi Daishonin Buddhism people. And so my chiropractor, Lenny Rosenblum, the Jewish Buddhist, he brought me to this room full of like 1,000 people chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo over and over and over. And I was sitting there and people had their beads or no beads or whatever. And they were all just sitting there. And I felt this pain that was in my body come up my spine and out the top of my head while we were doing that chanting. And I whispered to my friend Lenny, and I said, the pain just left my body. And he's like, good. And it's like, so, you know, what I take away from that is like, just more of that slowing down and listening and chanting. Chanting is a big resource for me when I'm really up against stuff in my sleep. I'll be upset about something and I'll be like, bring in the Nam Myoho Renge Kyo or other chants. And it's very helpful for
Wow.
getting back to like love. And that's my takeaway.
Very, very cool. I love it. I love it. All right. Coolness, Ariel. What's your takeaway?
My takeaway for today is just to be with what is.
And is there anything that you need from anyone that is here on this call that could hold you or be with you while you're having to go through the pain with your puppy?
Well, I really appreciate you guys letting me share, because I feel like everybody keeps trying to shut me up, and that is and I guess that's pissing me off. So so I hate that, right?
That makes me so mad. That makes me so mad. Don't be shutting me
I
up.
know. It's fine. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, that's definitely, you got an ear over here. If you need to talk and cry and yell and scream, I won't shut you up. What about you, Holly? What's your takeaway?
I think it's good to like hear other people's struggles, me being in a bubble and like hearing everybody else's reactions to everything that's going on. Like makes me feel like connected in my bubble. So
Our bubbles are touching and they're getting bigger. We just bubble touch into one bubble. And I can't wait to go through the stuff that you put together, Holly. Just a shout out on that.
Oh yeah.
I haven't had a chance to get into any of that yet with everything that's been going on, but
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on a what's that, gypsy trail or something. Like no, what is that called when you go with everybody in the, anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm not sure where I feel like I've fallen into some really cool hole. What's your takeaway from the call?
I think it's just for me, a really good reminder to, I have a lot of anti-vax friends and family members, and just to be compassionate toward them and love them, and no matter what their choices are about that. And a lot of people are raging and yelling at each other. It's not doing anything. So, loving them into whatever they need to be doing and not judging them.
Mhm.
So that's kind of, I'm back to that, to figure out where I can be the support and the loving aunt and cousin and niece and all that kind of stuff.
All that. Mine is I just love you guys showing up, and I love that I have people that care about this shit with me. So thanks for being here. What do
Come
you,
get a massage.
yeah, exactly.
Not you, Georgia, but you three. Come get a massage.
Okay, I don't know if I can get a massage for anybody with that little red bow on. I don't know if
What's
I,
wrong? It's so I'm your house cleaner. I'm here to help you.
and who are you, Ariel, with that outfit you got going on? She's such the artist. It's not enough to have purple eyebrows and purple lips. We gotta add a little sprout, get a little.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, Dr. Beth.
I know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, one of the things that Alice is doing is she's doing laughter yoga.
Mm.
Oh, that's so
So
fun.
fun.
Yeah, it's
Is it
ridiculous.
naked or is it just laughter yoga?
I haven't asked.
There's some people that have naked yoga. That sounds really fun.
That sounds.
That sounds like that sounds like possibly one of the worst things I can think of, right? Everybody gets their own perspective, right?
I'm with you, Ariel. I'm not sure about that.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll think about that. We'll think about that. All right. Well, I am going to wrap this puppy up. Send everybody on their way with lots of love. Hasta luego.
Thank you, Dr. Beth.
Thanks for sharing.